Good morning, millennials.
Welcome back to the Toast and Happy. Like, should we just fuck it, you know?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Happy
literally
Friday.
not worth it whatsoever. We can write an original song. We could sing another song.
We could have another competition.
Like, no.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So, never mind.
I don't even have the itch anymore.
Yeah. Fuck that song.
Fuck that song.
Hey, Jax, how you doing? Happy Friday.
I'm doing good. Very excited that it's Friday.
It's
is well.
such a loaded Friday.
Yes, a lot of change on the horizon for La Tarte de Lou. It is the last episode in that studio, which I know we've been making.
In what?
That studio in those four walls.
Thank you.
I know we've been making a lot of it, but I also feel like we really need to acknowledge the space.
No, it's literally that scene in the Sex and the City movie when Samantha flies in and they're cleaning out Carrie's closet. A lot of shit went down in this place. Something must be, what's the second half of that line? Oh, fuck, I need to say it perfectly. Just hold on.
Okay.
Sex and the City. A lot of shit went down in this place. Something must be paid.
Homage. Respect.
Oh, I got it. A lot of shit went down in this apartment. Attention must be paid.
Oh.
And she pulls out the bottle of champagne.
Very good.
And then the other one. That's what we need to do here today. Now, yes, we have made quite a moment of this move. It's literally not a big deal, like at all. Having said that, these fools came down around us. And like a phoenix, I will rise from the ashes of this building that I have come to fucking hate.
Like the building, I think you move out today and then the building gets demolished tomorrow. Is that how it works?
The thing is that at one point in time, especially when you lived here, this was a flourishing office building.
Yeah, I used to, in my lifetime, I have been in this building to go to the dentist. I wonder what my dentist is doing. Where are they going?
There's a sign on their door. They went a couple of blocks down.
And then also bar studio in the building. There is
very
also
famous art gallery.
Very prominent art gallery. Where are they taking all the art?
I saw she had a sign in the elevator. Her gallery moved. I think they actually went downtown. But yes, at what point this was flourishing.
Center of commerce.
It was a bustling metropolis. And
the designer next door.
Yes, I had heard whispers that they were turning this building into condos, and I got confirmation that was happening. And so people slowly started to move out. And I was like, whatever, like when we have to go, we'll go. And I'm not sure what the timeline of the condo association is, but do you remember when there was that earthquake like a year ago?
Yes.
I actually thought, because I have been the only tenant in this building for maybe a year, I have thought when the earthquake was happening that they didn't know that I still was renting here. And that the demolition had begun. And I was so afraid. So when I mean, like, there is seriously, like, if you have a problem in this building, the toilet doesn't flush, like, this building is basically abandoned, but I still pay rent. I don't even know, like, it's so turned. Having said that, my tenure here is coming to an end. I have a fabulous new building that I'm so excited about. The bathroom is so nice. It's just a new chapter for Tourney.
It is. And we love a new chapter for everything, you know? Chapters are good. The chapters of our lives.
Okay, Cheyenne Kimball.
No, it's Brett, not Eldridge.
Young. What's the Cheyenne Kimball song?
I'm hanging on.
She doesn't say chapter in there?
She might. Nobody stopped her from saying chapter.
Me anyway. Okay, whatever. Not only is it a new chapter, but I'm also like creating a real space. I can't wait for you to see it. You haven't seen it yet. It's not just a studio. Like there is a studio, there is an office. There's actually going to be a second filming space for when you come to town, for when the good guys, you know, like to suck at the teat of the toast.
Yeah.
I'm just really creating sort of like a space for woman creators and men.
You sound like Adam Newman. Like I'm cultivating.
No, Jackie,
a space.
I sound like the founders. Remember that women's only club, The Wing, that was like really controversial?
Yes, but it was also on Younger, and it was like real on Younger.
No, there was a time where like they announced this like new kind of Soho House type of thing in New York, and for some reason like it was national news.
But
like
you
who cares
also
about?
Sound like Anna Delvey. That you're creating a club.
I'm creating. What was her name? The Anna Delvey Foundation. It's the Turdy Oshry Soffer Weinreb Foundation.
It's called Turd Work,
where creators can come and just sort of strip back, be themselves, create content.
You sound like the founder of WeWork. I just want you to know.
And you know what? I actually understand him on a deep level now because I am so excited for my
You have the
space.
same dream.
I have the same dream. Yes, Jackie.
Well, that's very exciting for all those who shall join Turd Work.
Now, should we talk about sort of like the big elephant in the room?
What is that?
I trimmed my hair 1 inch.
That was yesterday that we had that conversation?
I've lived lifetimes in between.
That's so crazy.
Yes. How does it like, okay, how do I look?
Your hair looks very beautiful today. You don't look one iota different.
You couldn't have said a more complimentary thing if you tried.
Right. That's what you were going for. Great.
I was being really crazy.
I was hoping that would happen.
Yeah. When I went to Mahogany, I was like, so, face framing layers, but keep the length. And she was like, you want to trim? I'm like, yeah, well, like, it's like hard to say, like, cut the dead, but don't change the length of my hair at all.
Right.
So she was like, do you want to trim? I'm like, but like a little one. And my hair actually wasn't dead. It was just like kind of flat. Mm-hmm. I needed a refresh. And I also made my next 2 appointments because I'm thinking I got to plan it out. My hair's growing so quickly, in this pregnant era. Very grateful. So I will be having 2 appointments, God willing, before I give birth. And I made one of the appointments for like right before I give birth. So I'll have like maybe like a fire blowout. Mm-hmm. And then I won't be able to get a haircut for quite some time. So I'm just like, I'm trying to get my affairs in order.
Yeah, that's good.
It's like when you go on a trip, you need to do all your things.
Yes. A haircut pre. I did a haircut pre. It was nice.
It's so important.
Yeah. Plus your hair is growing very fast. So that's great. So 2 more days where you'll look the same.
Yeah, and exactly. I want to talk about hair and birth, if I may, for a minute.
Okay.
Because like I was talking to, a lot of my friends who have given birth or are giving birth, and like their hair is like a thing for them. Like they want to have a blowout, and it's like hard to time. So like I saw my friend who just had a baby, like when she was seriously like 9 months and a day pregnant, and she had gotten a blowout. I'm like, what are you getting your hair done for? She's like, just in case I go into labor. I'm like, oh. I thought it was kind of crazy, but now I'm like, that's actually really smart. Like, first of all, just to like get your hair clean and like out of the way. It's washed. It's like professionally washed. 2, like everybody's taking pictures. And like, while you're not going to look your best, like to have shiny hair, slay.
You have shiny hair naturally. I don't know. I don't clown on anyone who does it, like, because that's beautiful. Like, I don't yuck anyone's yums, but like, and I'm someone who like pictures, I blow out, like, the more
it's everything
the
to you.
But like, I don't want to be worried about preserving my blowout when I'm in the throes of labor. I'm more of a slick back bun. Like you're sweating. And also when you
slick back is definitely a good call.
When you do finally take a shower, like you want it to be a full shower, not just like, oh, got to keep my blowout in. I actually like don't, it doesn't resonate with me, the idea of being, and also like, I don't even want makeup on like when I'm sweating and
no,
then
makeup, I disagree. I agree.
When you do skin to skin with a fresh baby on your face has makeup on it and not the greatest setting spray in the world. Like I wouldn't want to transfer anything other than
I wouldn't put on makeup. But the hair thing I actually like really get, especially maybe you can't relate because like I fucking hate my natural hair. Like
that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
When I can't
relate. You have beautiful natural hair.
I feel like your hair is so calm when it's natural.
My natural hair is
so
unwearable.
Frizzy.
Oh my God, you're seriously crazy.
No, I like hate my natural hair.
That is so crazy.
Especially like these little pieces that like curl out from my ear.
No one gets better natural hair than you and Margot.
Margot gets really good natural hair.
You guys have the same natural hair.
No, my natural hair has changed. Like I know what you're thinking. You're thinking of the turdy of high school when like I used to literally wake up, go to school. I didn't even brush my hair and it looked like I had a blowout. And people were like, oh my God, how'd you do that? I'm like, I literally woke up like this. And I didn't even take it, like I took it for granted. No, that shit's not like that anymore, Jackie. Shit has turned dark. You don't even know.
I'm just saying, like, if you want to worry about your hair when you're giving birth, like by all means. I wouldn't.
I think I might want to.
Okay.
I think I might want to take on that burden.
Yeah, and sometimes it's nice to have the other things to focus on, because it might distract from anything. So
well, I don't know. I'm about to enter my 3rd week of pelvic floor therapy. So I have a feeling like I might crush it, honestly. Like, look at me, ready?
What are you, Kegling?
Yes, but very specific Kegels. And honestly, it's like I have to think about it so hard. So you breathe in and relax, which I feel like would be the opposite, right? Do it with me. Breathe in and like relax your vag, like totally unkeg, okay? Unclench, ready? While you're breathing in. Exhale and Kegel. Do it again. Exhale and Kegel. That's part of my homework. So I just like, my pelvic muscles at some point, like I'm gonna be able to snatch your ponytail with them. Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Any big plans this weekend?
Well, I do have, but I can't really like share them on the show. You know why? But it requires me to like mostly be home. So you kind of just like put me on the spot.
I did.
And don't worry, you'll know like on Monday. Yeah. Not to give a cliffhanger, but you'll know on Monday.
Yeah. I forgot about like something big that you're doing in your personal life. So I'll be quiet.
Yeah. What about you?
Just so many fabulous events. Like I don't even know where to go. Like I'm overwhelmed with options for like really fun things to do, and I'm feeling so good and not tired that I just have endless hours to expend on all these fabulous events that I'm invited to. People really do forget about you when you're pregnant. Like it's kind of rude.
You think?
And yes, and I just want to say,
what have you been like not invited to that you should be?
I wanted to say quickly, like, and another apology to you. I feel like I remember when you got pregnant, like me and Margaret would go do stuff and you were like, what about me? I'm like, well, you're pregnant. Obviously you're not coming. You're like, yeah, but like invite me. I was like, oh, okay, sure. Like, God, she's so fucking naggy. No, bitch, invite me. Literally invite me. It's just to be invited.
Where you not invited from?
And I just want to be abundantly clear. Like, I am not coming, but I want to be invited.
Where have you not been invited to?
I don't know. It just feels like I'm not being invited to things. I can't explain it. Like I have nothing to do. Oh, but I can't stress. Like I really don't want anything to do. Please don't invite me anywhere. And I just want to say like shout out to Taylor Strecker. Like we had dinner plans last night, and I got my first round ligament pain, and it was actually really scary. Like I was walking in the street, I'm like something's wrong, and then I like immediately got so tired and nauseous, and I was like I can't go. Like 30 minutes before.
Yeah.
She was like it's totally fine. Like. Friends that you can cancel on and like not feel bad about.
Oh my God.
So fucking real. Like people who give you like a pit.
No.
Even if they don't give you a pit, like they say it's totally fine and like they mean it, you don't feel right about it. Like I didn't feel bad. Taylor Strecker's just like such a real one. I felt so like not bad.
Whenever you're making a new friend, you should like cancel on them pretty early to see if that they're okay with that sort of thing. Because like we can't be investing in friendships where you don't feel like comfortable canceling.
Yeah, it made me really appreciate, because I've canceled so many things in the last couple of months, like just not feeling it. And it really made me appreciate her friendship and her as a person. Like I didn't feel even like the slightest way about it, you know?
Yeah.
And she didn't make me feel bad at all. She was like, girl, I'm more
Meanwhile,
tired
she's
than you.
on her podcast today. Like,
this fat bitch.
My friend, I'm not going to name who, canceled on me last minute.
That's funny. Oh, I want to talk about something I'm so upset about. Like a fun fact about me is I watch this show. And you probably haven't heard of it. Nobody has. It's on HBO. It's Bridget Everett, and it's called Somebody Somewhere. I think I've spoken about it on the Toast before. But
I've seen her promoting it.
Yeah. And it's such a weird show. It like takes place in Kansas. She plays this like, you know, girl with like nothing going on. She doesn't like have a lot of friends, and the show starts when she meets this other guy from the town that they like grew up in. They had went to high school together, but they weren't friendly, and they just like sort of spark up this late in life friendship, and they're both sort of like loners, and as they become friends, like they enrich each other's lives so much so that now by the third season, like they have this whole group of friends, and it's like all these like, you know, misfits and freaks from the town. And me and Ben finished the third season last night. It's like, it's not like the best show I've ever seen, but it's got a lot of heart. And it makes us laugh, and I love Bridget Everett, and she is so me. Like, she makes herself sing in almost her character is just somebody who can, like, sing amazing, you know? And in the last episode, she sings The Climb at, like, karaoke.
You're lying.
I swear. Like, it was so... And the thing is, one thing I don't like about the show is that she's always like, oh, Sam has to sing. And Bridget Everett's like, okay. And she like sings the worst songs. I've actually never known a song that she sings, whether it's
so
like
classic.
She goes to church or whatever. It's like the worst fucking songs. So like, what is this bitch gonna sing in the season finale? All of a sudden she starts singing The Climb. I'm like, oh my God, obsessed. Ben loves the show. Like, it's just this random thing that we do. It was fucking canceled.
But three seasons is a good run.
It is, and I just want to talk to like the three other people who watched the show, because there's a lot of like discourse online. Was the show canceled by HBO, or did it come to an end like on Bridget? Because by the time we watched the last episode, Bridget has this huge group of friends. Her relationship with her sister is completely repaired, and she got a boyfriend. Like, it was too much. And I was so ready for season 4 where we're going to watch her and the boyfriend.
Yeah. No, but that's the story arc. Like,
yeah, it's like
a happily ever after.
And like her and the guy like that so the guy that she met in the first episode who becomes like her best friend, they had like this sweet moment just like acknowledging how they've enriched each other's lives so much. So it almost feels like she wrote it to be done, and the show wasn't like canceled out of the blue. Like I didn't have any questions. I would have loved to see like Bridget Everett and her man, but I was so upset, and like justice for somebody somewhere, even though like
leave them wanting
good.
more. Leave them wanting more. Like normalize ending shows the way they were meant to end, as opposed to having to be abruptly canceled.
Speaking of, I saw a new thing
like
on
Schitt's
Netflix.
Creek.
I don't know. Right. I don't know if it's a movie or a TV show starring Kate Hudson. And she's like a big time sports agent, like girl boss. It's written by Mindy Kaling, and somebody plays her boyfriend. I forget
New
who.
Girl Boy.
Yeah, Schmidt. It looks so good.
Yeah.
Like that, to me, like I'm excited about, because I feel like Mindy's latest project, The Sex Lives of College Girls, which I still have to watch this season. I only watched the first episode. I feel like it's like cursed, and it's like,
I don't feel that way, but I am. Every time I start a new season of it, I'm like worried that it's going to be bad. So I'm like, I go in trepidatiously, but I will be. I love that show.
But this is the one, Leighton has left. She's in the first episode, and they like write her out. And then I think I haven't watched the second episode of the rest of the season. Do you know who's in it? Oh man, I'm going to blow your mind. You're going to be so excited about this.
Of Sex Lives?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
You're going to freak out.
Kelly Clarkson?
Honestly, close. No. It's somebody who like you love on the internet, but we happen to also know them personally from back in the day.
Courtney.
Average fashion blogger.
I knew
Courtney.
she was on it.
She was on a podcast talking about it. She got like it was like a rogue part where she just plays this like obnoxious celebrity sorority girl, and she did such a good job. They liked her so much they like wrote her into the rest of the season.
Classic. The cream always rises.
The cream always rises. When I saw her, I didn't know that she was on it yet. I literally was like, "That's Courtney from camp." We went to camp with her.
I saw something on Instagram knowing that she was on it, so I've already processed this information, and it's very exciting.
Yeah. So that's on my content plate, but Ben doesn't watch it. So
you know what you should watch? It's on the content plate. Shogun.
Okay, Ben really wants to watch Shogun. Ben is obsessed, almost to the point of like fetishes Asian culture. Like he just loves Asian food, Asian people. Like, so when we were watching the Golden Globes, he was like, "What is Shogun?" Mm-hmm. I'm like, "I actually think you would like it." Like he loves martial arts. Like he really respects the culture. So I was like, fine, sure, let's watch it. And we like watched a trailer on Hulu, and Ben was so excited. It just looks like something I would not like.
It's like a history period piece.
And so we didn't watch it because I get final say these days.
Okay, but I would maybe circle back.
All right.
If you're looking for like something heftier, maybe you have to watch a bunch of crap to then crave heft.
Yeah.
Classic. Well, that's what I'm at with my reading. Like I have started and not finished so many dumb fucking books because I'm just like, I want to read. I want a palate cleanser. I want something stupid. I'm literally like reading stupidity, and now I'm craving heft. So I started a new historical fiction book last night that has gotten
nothing
a lot of good reviews.
Than like being in a phase where you just start shitty books and don't even finish them.
And then I'm like, well, I'm 20% of the shitty book. I could finish it, and then I got a book in the can. But no, I'm going to spend my time more intentionally. And so I started a book last night, and it's like, it's so heavy. But that's what I wanted.
Yes, intent.
But that's what I wanted. But it's
We're being
heavy.
intentional in 2025, okay?
We are being intentional, aren't we?
100%. She's manifesting. She's going to spiritual events.
I am.
She's
drinking water.
She's leading with intent.
She's taking turmeric and throwing it away.
How are the stories today?
Good. We've got a lot of things to wrap up the week. And then also I watched Southern Charm last night. Fifth and final story will lead into TV recap because there was a lot of information from Southern Charm last night, especially about like Craig and Paige. And it was just like kind of a crazy episode. And I have a lot of thoughts now on the new cast members. It took me a few, but I'm getting a read on them.
100%.
So without further ado, here are the fast 5 stories that you need to know.
And the fast 5 stories that you need to know are brought to you by eHarmony. So we have partnered with eHarmony, the dating app to find someone that you can be yourself with, because let me tell you, there's nothing better. And there's a lot to go, a lot that goes on in life. And of course, being a strong, independent person is super important, but having somebody to share those moments with, the hard parts, the easy parts, the fun parts, it can be very enriching. And dating on eHarmony is different. So the people who go on eHarmony actually want to find someone, and they want to find someone that they can be themselves with. So they're not just aimlessly dating, they're genuinely looking for a connection. And I think that's what really separates eHarmony from other dating, like online dating, is the crop of people that it attracts, because it's so frustrating to like put yourself out there and then you end up like going on dates with people who aren't serious, who aren't looking to like be in relationships, and they're not looking to just like genuinely be themselves. And that's where eHarmony is different. I think they've been in the game the longest. There's a reason why they have so much success, and it's really the people that sign up are just different. They're a different breed. And if you're like a serious person who's seriously looking to fall in love and start a relationship, highly recommend doing eHarmony. Because of their compatibility quiz, your personality will be the star of your profile. And when your personality is the star, finding the right person is just so much easier. So get started with that compatibility quiz. And honestly, like, do it. Take the time, like, be thoughtful with it because it really makes a difference. You can find someone that you can be yourself with. So download the app and get who gets you on eHarmony. Thank you, eHarmony, for sponsoring today's show. And thank you to Charlotte Tilbury for also sponsoring today's show. As glamorous celebrities and models, like, we are constantly trying out different makeup, different glam looks, and Charlotte Tilbury is really like that, B-I-T-C-H. So she has bottled 30 years of artistry into easy to choose, easy to use beauty products. You cannot go wrong. They are flattering for everyone, and there's a reason why she's the queen of glow. If you guys don't know, like, Charlotte herself is like one of the most world-renowned celebrity favorite makeup artists, and her makeup brand is probably the hottest brand on social media, and they have been for a couple of years. Everything they make is amazing. I use so many of their products. Obviously, everybody loves their contour wands, their highlighter wands, their blush wands. Really dewy, really easy to blend. It's also good, like, idiot-proof makeup. I think that a lot of these products that come out, like, you need a degree to use. Charlotte Tilbury are, like, really accessible. I love their powder bronzer. People are obsessed over her new foundation. All of her products are amazing. Also, the Hollywood Flawless Filter, that's one of my favorites. So with one product, that Hollywood Flawless Filter, you can blur, smooth, and illuminate the look of skin. Plus, it's skincare infused for clinically proven hydration up to 24 hours. So from red carpets to influencers' bathrooms, her legendary icons have gone viral for making everybody look and feel like the most beautiful, confident version of themselves. And I'm sure you guys know her Pillow Talk lip liner. I literally have it right here. It's like a nub now. I could use another one. The best pinky nude, and it comes in multiple shades for different skin tones. So Charlotte Tilbury is performance that you can trust. It's legendary for a reason, and you can use code TOAST15 for 15% off on charlottetilbury.com. Plus, new account holders get free delivery. By the way, 15%, that's kind of fabulous. Code is TOAST15. This ad is brought to you by Charlotte Tilbury, USA customers only, and valid until March 2nd, 2025. For full terms and conditions and exclusions, see the Charlotte Tilbury website. Again, our code is TOAST15.
Thank you, Turt15.
You're welcome, Jert15.
Our first story, wild photo shows Camila Cabello performing in a nearly empty arena. So photos have just gone viral of Camila Cabello's latest performance in a nearly empty venue in Atlanta, Georgia on Sunday. The photos have gone viral on X. Social media users are saying that shit was empty. They're labeling it as a flop. They shared a screenshot over the weekend showing that just around 30% of the tickets had sold out to the State Farm Arena show. Oh, they spelled State Farm wrong. Weird.
Oh, that's crazy.
Another person asked, why do some singers do this? If you know you can't sell arenas, why do them? Isn't it just extra cost for no reason and embarrassment? However, and then, yes, so she played to like a nearly empty arena.
Crowd, yeah.
Then unlikely man named Modson came to her defense with some fire points. He said 99% of artists would have canceled the show and put out a mental health statement. She just gained my respect by still performing. That show meant the world to the people in the crowd that night. Empty shows are still shows, he says.
You know what? I actually really agree with him. And to be clear, like, I wouldn't be caught dead. Like, if, like, I would... I don't know what the number is, but like when I was on tour, like you would get periodic statistics like almost every day of how many tickets were sold. And like, you know, you would hope for like 80, 90, but you would still perform. If it's under like 60 or 50, then you're like, So 30% is really low. And yes, most people would have canceled this and everybody lies. Like, I need to take time for my mental health. Like, sure, okay. The fact that she didn't is such a testament to A, like the love she has for her fans, and B, like she don't give a fuck. So like this is such an image obsessed industry. Like the fact that she did perform, like I actually have enormous respect for.
I agree. I went on a journey with this story, and I'm not going to act like I was bigger than everyone else by being like, oh, yikes. And then like,
my initial reaction was like, could not, would not, will never be
like, you know,
something I would do.
Like that's just like embarrassing. And, especially when people are like, why would you book arenas if you know you can't sell arenas? That's like what happened with J-Lo.
It happens sometimes. It does. Like celebrities overestimate their impact. And so you don't really know how many people are going to buy tickets to a tour. You can use analytics and your social media and previous tours, but there's no way to properly know. That's like when Olivia Rodrigo did her first tour after she like went viral. She did like Radio City types places, which are big, 5,000-6,000 people. But for her, people are like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. So it's almost impossible to perfectly guess unless you're like at the Taylor Swift level. I could see Camila Cabello's team like thinking she could do arenas, and maybe in certain parts of the country she could, like where her fans are most, but not Atlanta.
No, but then like someone like J-Lo cancels, gives like a bunch of excuses, and then there's always like weaved in like, oh, maybe it's just because tickets didn't sell, but it's not fact.
Right.
So it gives you like plausible deniability, and you could just walk away. So at first I'm like, oh wow, and then I saw Mod Sun, I'm like, check yourself, he's right.
Not Mod Sun making us think.
Literally, they always do that. They cancel, and then they make us feel bad for them canceling because like there's something bigger going on that you don't know about. And like I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm an asshole,
you're just complaining because like you had to pay for a sitter,
right,
and like you're the villain.
And Mod Sun really swayed me, and now I'm with Mod, and I have respect for Camila Cabello getting out there, doing her thing. To the people who showed up, and not doing it for the people who didn't.
Like so professional. Mm-hmm. And did I think that we would all sort of like be humbled by Mod Sun? No. And I think we just recently had a conversation about Mod Sun on the show. And I don't think it was like the most flattering combo. We were sort of just like, who is this person? And you know what? I don't even care because this is a person who made a good point.
This is a person who made a good point and put the industry on notice.
Yep. 100%. And I do, now that I really think about it, like it's admirable behavior from one Camila Cabello.
It's also worth mentioning that then people were saying this was like some sort of not private event, but it was part of
corporate.
An event for like colleges. So it might have not been like a general on sale to the public. Yeah. However, then other people were saying, no, they've been advertising this like all over Atlanta for the last few weeks. Like this was just a concert.
The event type is a little murky. Let's say that.
They are holding space for plausible deniability with the event type.
Yeah, but she's like not even getting involved. Like, you know what? I don't think much about Camila Cabello these days. And let me tell you, there was a time where I actually thought of nothing but Camila Cabello. If you guys remember, Lila's turned to Fifth Harmony, turned to those YouTube videos they used to post, turned to a band and then breaking up. Like there was a time where I thought about them a lot. Now I'm kind of just like, I think I'm like a little too old for her music. But now I'm thinking about her and I'm thinking positive things. Like this is a true professional, somebody who really cares about her fans. And this is something, Mod Sun's right, like no artist would do.
Yeah.
And I like that.
I just feel like it should be a lot easier to suss out whether or not this was a private corporate event where only a few tickets were sold to the public.
Why is there such confusion? Yeah, that's a really good point.
You know? So, TBD. But anyways, respect to Camila Cabello. Always
Agreed.
like a good moral of the story. Respect to Camila Cabello.
Some of us have been respecting Camila Cabello, like ever since she was so clearly like the best part of that band on X Factor. And honestly, I think sometimes Simon and the crew and his judges, like they put together a perfect band, right? One Direction.
Little Mix.
Oh, Little Mix was a, I wanted to talk about something really quick.
Pop Culture Jeopardy?
Yes, last night, you guys know I watched Pop Culture Jeopardy like when it first came out, and honestly it was really bad. I couldn't even get past the second episode. But I got tagged in this thing and I started DMing with this toaster who was on last night's episode. So she DM'd me, she was like, we heard about the auditions on the Toast. Mm-hmm. And me and my two best friends, like they're like Canadian Jews, they wanted to submit. They put together, and they were like, we didn't know what to make our team. We almost made our team name Girly Swirly.
Oh, cute.
But we thought it was like a little like niche.
Okay.
And we did French toasters. And then so I watched the episode last night. They did not win. In their defense, it was the least swirly episode ever. Jackie, I knew none of the answers. And the people who were winning the whole time were these three older straight men. So it was like
they were out to get the swirlies.
Old sitcom questions. Like it was so not their fault. It was the dumbest question.
Frasier.
Yeah, right. No, older.
Is
like 60s.
Frasier.
It was so not swirly. Like justice for Shane and the girls. But in the middle of the episode, Colin goes over and like talks to these people about where they're from, and like usually because they all have like such weird team names. He's like, what is French? You guys just like love French toast? And they were like, well, we do. But we are French Canadian. They're from Quebec. And we are like Toasters is about like our favorite pop culture podcast. And Colin was like, cool. And yeah, it was sick. It was sick. Okay. And Little Mix was thank you for reminding me.
Was an answer?
Yep.
Oh my God, what was the question? What's the best pop group in the world to ever
made? Yeah. No, they just showed a picture of the four girls and being like, this group got together on X Factor UK. Like, name
beautiful.
them.
The French toasters were properly educated. Did they get that one right?
There was a team next to them, I don't remember, who was like, I don't know if they listened to the Toast, but they were swirly. It was like two young girls and a gay guy. Like they were just like our age. Like those two teams were competing for like the answers. And then the random fucking questions about old ass sitcoms and old Hollywood was going to the other team.
They split the vote. Sounds like they were out to get the swirlies, just saying.
1,000%. 1,000%. But sorry, what I was saying about Little Mix. Sometimes they put together like a really perfect band. And even though Little Mix and One Direction like both broke up, I would still consider them to be perfect bands. Mm-hmm. And even though, like actually not with Little Mix, but like with One Direction, there was like one person who was like a little bit more famous. Like more people had Harry as their favorites. I do still feel like they were an equal band. Fifth Harmony like really could never get their asses off the ground because they were so unequal. Like there were people in the band that never should have been there, and Camila should really have not been. She was probably like out on the show for sure the most talented vocalist, and every time they would perform, the feedback was like, Camila, slay.
Yeah.
Rest of you girls, get it together. Like there's that famous clip of Demi Lovato being like, I don't want to say, but like one of you is doing a lot better than the others. And Khloe Kardashian was the host of X Factor, which we don't even talk about enough. Khloe Kardashian was like, say it, Demi, say it. And they started fighting. Demi was like, no. And then she goes, Camila. It was like this awkward elephant in the room. And that's why like the band was destined to flop. Even when their YouTube videos would come out, they would do these things before they ever released their own music and after X Factor. They were keeping up with their fans on YouTube. And every time they did a drop, it was the biggest deal on the planet. Like I can't even tell you how I ran to my computer. And each YouTube video was like a different girl choosing a song. And so the one that she chose like was going to be hers, right? And Camila chose Lego House by Ed Sheeran, which like wasn't even a song that I knew. Jackie, it had so many more views than the other ones because like she sang the whole time. Like it was unequal from the start.
Yeah, but the cream always rises. Then they broke up, and then she's the one with like a real flourishing solo career.
Yeah.
And the other ones who are good also have things going on, and the ones who aren't good are just like seriously unwell.
Yeah, but and we can't even get into this like rabbit hole of Normani, but like that's where it's like difficult with Normani because she, when it comes to talent, I would say she was number 2.
Yeah.
But she like can't get her music career.
She's number 2, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's not saying much. Like
I know, but she has the second most flourishing career because like she's
okay. But if we want to talk abstractly about her career, like,
well, that's a separate conversation.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a separate conversation. But
yes.
Career flourishment is going in order of the talent that you saw on X Factor.
And I know there's like 4 other people on the planet who like care as much about like the early days of Fifth Harmony and like seriously, I could recite all their performances for you. And like, if you know about that Anything Can Happen performance on X Factor,
I know.
Like, you know, right?
I know. I do know. I remember I was there.
And then Camila gets up in her tutu and she's like, I know it's gonna be, I know, like, chills. I know it's gonna be. I was so fucking jealous of Camila
But for
Cabello when I was a
me,
kid.
that is a referendum on Ellie Goulding. Like, to me, that's where I go.
I don't disagree.
Like, justice for Ellie Goulding, more opportunities for Ellie Goulding, this songstress of our time.
If it makes you feel any better, I know that you feel like Ellie Goulding is like completely overlooked, and she is. She's actually not in the UK, which is where she's from.
I think she does amazingly. I'm sure she has so much money because like her songs are so commercially popular. They're just like oozing out money. But I just do feel like we all, myself included, sleep on her. Like when I'm in my car, like wanting to put on a random artist that I know I'm going to like every song, I don't think of her, and that's a shame on me.
Agreed. You need to work. You need to do better.
I need to work on that.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
You know what? I need to start a list of underrated artists I can play when I need an artist to put on shuffle.
That's a long name for a title.
I'm just going to write artists.
Yeah.
Because right now, it's Rascal Flatts, Lady A, Gavin DeGraw, Kelly Clarkson. Those are my sites.
Okay, I actually have some more. I have some more.
Ellie Goulding. Who's next?
One Republic.
However, the problem with Ellie Goulding is I can't just listen to all of her songs on shuffle because she does a lot of like random remixes,
collabs,
with random people, and like, no, that's not what I wanted.
One Republic needs to be added to that list.
Okay.
Do you agree?
I agree.
That's like the elk of what you're looking for the car.
It's the elk for sure, but that also would fall under a separate list of like albums I want to listen
Perfect albums.
to. But when I want to put on artist shuffle and I know every song, it's a different sort of list. So keep going. Anyone else?
No, not right now.
Okay, it will be a ever-growing list. Feel free to drop a rec in the comments.
I love that.
And Lady A. There you go. And then, of course, I always have my favorite artists like Luke Combs, blah, 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 but I'm always listening to Taylor. I'm always listening. Like, I don't need to be reminded.
They're actively releasing new
music. I don't need to be
like,
reminded.
Yeah.
You know? Speaking of my faves, Kelly Clarkson reveals she just started her own record label, and she's sharing why it's been a challenge.
I mean, because being a woman in business who's severely underappreciated by her country is difficult. Yeah, for sure.
So she revealed on Wednesday on her show that she has started her own label. The news came while she was speaking with her guest, Keke Palmer, of course, about Keke's own record label that she's had for 6 or 7 years. So an impressed Kelly then announced that she had taken a similar leap in the music industry. She said, I'm so much older than you, and it's my first time in my career, and I just now started my own label, and I'm putting out my own stuff. And I've had some good teams like to work with, but there's nothing like being that 10-year-old again and be excited and nobody saying, oh, you should do this and you should do that. She then noted that people don't know how hard it is. That's what Keke said. And then Kelly said, girl, I'm finding out. I'm putting together a music video. And I'm like, wait, I forgot to do what? She then added, I just now started it. I started writing and I was like, wait, how do I put this out now? And then I was like, well, I guess through me.
Oh, that's interesting. So when I think of like someone who starts a label, I think of them starting a label to like represent other artists. But I guess it's like a way of being independent while also having a label is like starting your own label. Yes, agree. But I think in order to start a label for other artists, it's like you have to be on it yourself, and you should work out all the kinks on yourself so that when you have new talent, it's seamless. Here's your music video, here's your distribution, here's your release, here's your marketing. And so she's like being her own guinea pig. No, and I love that because like Kelly is a media empire, right? She has all the different facets. But I will say, like, her music is severely underrepresented. Like, her new music, excuse me. Everybody's like, since you've begun, like, you don't know Chemistry, the deluxe album. Like, so I don't know if, like, now's the time for her to be, because I think when you go on your own label, like, Taylor Swift could release an album on the biggest label or on her own label. She could go to the smallest, worst label in the industry and it would still get the same amount of listenership. And I feel like Kelly really needs to be propped up by the machine because people aren't taking, like they're now like people are paying attention with like her covers and a new generation of people, but they're still not streaming her new music and they're wrong for that. I agree with you on your overall conclusion. However, I think the route there is a little different because I think the big machine has failed her. She's been on all these records. She is the machine now. She's been with RCA, Atlantic Records, and they've been doing her albums, and they're not getting where they need to go. Yeah. And I'm down for her to try something different. And the thing is, all of her Kelly-owned things, like her show and her covers, they do well. So I think Kelly needs to be in charge of her destiny. But I do feel like Kelly's Roman Empire are the music labels. Like, don't forget, you know, Behind These Hazel Eyes during that time, what was it, My December? Like, that was a dark time. She was like beefing with her music label, putting out music she didn't want to do. So I feel like her breaking free from this like the way the industry is when it comes to labels, like, is very important for Kelly's self. So Chemistry debuted at number 6 on the Billboard 200 with 53,000 equivalent album units earned. Like, I'm sorry, 53,000 for America's Sweetheart. And like, for reference, like Taylor Swift's albums, when they get released, they do about 1 million copies in the first week. Now, obviously, she's like another planet, but like Kelly's not that far off. Like, she's the biggest star. Like, she should be doing 100,000, 200,000 copies. Like, somebody is actively failing Kelly Clarkson. It's not us. No, it's not us. Somebody is actively failing her. So maybe, her switching it up. But wait, who released Chemistry? What label was she on? Do you know what I mean? She was on Atlantic. And they did Meaning of Life. Meaning of Life got no love. Meaning of Life got no love. Metacritic gave it a 70 out of 100. What? The album. Like, which on a score. Chemistry, excuse me, sorry. Okay. I just feel like that's low. Who's Metacritic in this world? They're actually like, they are somebody. I'm just letting you know. But it's a good question. Had you heard of them before you just found that? Yes, of course. Is that like the Rotten Tomatoes for music? Yes. Oh, you don't know Metacritic? I don't know Metacritic. Oh, you know, Metacritic is like it's the Rotten Tomatoes. Tell me what else Metacritic likes. And I will say, I think Metacritic often gets it right. I think Rotten Tomatoes is seriously like, I live on a different planet than the people who work at Rotten Tomatoes. I think Rotten Tomatoes audience score gets it right. Yes. Okay, give me an example of an album that you think is perfect, and I'll tell you what Metacritic gave them. Native, One Republic. Yeah. Our fave. A perfect album. A perfect album. Let me go pull up some albums so we can keep playing this game. No, it's so, by the way, it's fun. Okay, I don't know why I'm having a hard time. Native, not having talk to text on my iPad is really, like, I'm turning into a grandma. I can't do anything without talk to text. Okay, Native Metacritic. I think you can set it up. Damn. Metacritic gave Native by One Republic, which is seriously a perfect album. Yeah. You know every song, even if you've never listened to the album. You do. A 65. Who is Metacritic in this world? User score, 8.2. So 82. what's like the best Taylor Swift album in your opinion? Like 1989?
Yeah.
Like, let's see what they gave 1989.
Right now, that's what I would say. I'm in my 1989
Okay, by the way.
era.
By the way. Okay, 1989 has a 76. So that's obviously a good score is what I'm saying.
Okay, what's their top rated albums? They don't have a little thing like...
Oh, sure. Metacritic top rated.
It's going to be like Nirvana. You know, like I need swirly edition. I need swirly edition.
Okay, yeah. 10 Freedom Summers. I don't know what that is. Let me see
what
if
else?
I know.
What else?
Check it. I actually don't know any of
the
this.
Beatles?
Fiona Apple, Brian Wilson, Loretta Lynn. Let me see until I find something I actually know. Oh, Damn by Kendrick Lamar from 2017. No, I'm not familiar. Okay, by the way, I'm so glad we're talking about this.
Bruno Mars?
Number 14 on the list of highest Metacritic rated with a 95 is Brat. And I want to talk about Brat.
Who is Metacritic in this world, Claudia? I go back to my original point, and I agree with my past self.
Brat, while it felt like, because I've been seeing a lot of, the Grammys are coming, right? So everybody's talking about Album of the Year. And while it really felt like Brat like took over, the numbers do not lie. Like Brat actually did not take over. Like not even in the slightest. And I don't know, like, maybe it's because I'm so chronically online, and like this definitely was an album for the chronically online, and it very much existed like in TikTok, and I don't know why I thought like maybe that happened everywhere. Yeah. It seriously like was not even remotely successful compared to the other albums of the year.
Yeah. I tried to tell you this in a delicate way, but I'm glad that you reached the conclusion on your own. Like,
yeah, no, I've been seeing it on Twitter. People being like, it's giving industry plant.
Very much so. Very much so.
Let's do an example. Short and Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also nominated for Album of the
Year.
And which what I think should win, sales. Let's say Short and Sweet sales. Why do they make it so hard to find these information? How many copies? It is now sold over 1 million, as of August, over 1 million units in the U.S.
Wait,
only,
it came out in August.
Great, okay.
So in its first month, it sold 1 million units, you're saying?
And now what they say about Brat, which is older, and they're saying as of today, worldwide. See, that number I just gave you was the U.S.
Was the U.S. and in August when the month it came out.
Right.
1 million copies in the month.
Brat, 800,000. And that's with way more time and the globe.
That's way higher than I expected, actually.
Yeah.
Well.
Who is Metacritic in this world?
Right. So I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. Stream Kelly Clarkson. Are you ready for...
Do your due diligence. Do your part.
Do your part. Yeah. Be the change you wish to see.
Yeah.
Are you ready for our next story, which actually is a great segue? Number 3, a great segue from our previous story, which is that Kendrick Lamar, who has one of the top-rated albums on Metacritic, has revealed who his special guest performer for the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show will be.
Oh my God, I literally, first of all, forgot that he was a performer, halftime. I just want to make sure you know that I heard that.
They've changed the name of the show, actually.
Oh, that's good.
The halftime show.
That's nice. And I was just realizing there's only one more weekend, like this weekend. No, there's 2 football games, and then it's Super Bowl. I read this story, and I was like, oh, okay, in a few months, like, cool, for the Super Bowl. And now I'm just realizing, like, this is for next weekend, the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's exciting. I feel like nobody's talking about the fact that the Washington, I don't know what their name is anymore, football club.
Commanders.
They're still in it.
Yeah, and they're going against the Eagles.
Right, so we might have a repeat. This weekend, it's Commanders versus Eagles. And the Bills versus Chiefs.
The Haleys versus the Taylors.
I know. I just want to say, like, I would have loved, and I know, like, divisional. Don't get me started on the divisions, but it really would have been sick if the Super Bowl could have been Bills versus Chiefs. Like, we could have had so much celebrity-like moments. Mm-hmm. And I think of these 4 teams, as somebody who's, like, been paying attention to football, like, the 2 best teams out of these 4 are the Bills and the Chiefs. Like, they should be playing each other. Like, seriously, who are the Commanders in this world?
It's so
and
true.
I don't want to come for the Washington State Swirlies, because like last year I came for the Detroit Swirlies and they got mad. But I'm just saying, like, seriously, in this narrative, like, who are you?
Can I ask
and
like,
good
a
for
really
you.
crazy
good for you
question?
For getting this far.
Can I ask a really crazy question based on like what you just said? Mm-hmm. The Washington Commanders are from Washington State, not DC?
That would be really crazy if they were from DC.
I think
like,
they're
it's not even
DC,
a state.
No, Claudia, I think they're the DC Washington Commanders. Don't ask me why I think that. But that's just always like something I've held true.
In the Washington metropolitan area. What does that mean? Oh, DC. Oh my God, you're right. Wait, that is so crazy.
And so does Washington State have a football team?
No, the Seattle Seahawks do. So I guess that represents the entire
Washington.
Pacific Northwest. Yeah, but that does Portland, Oregon, like that does that whole purple-haired crew.
For sure, but so Washington State does have a team because Seattle is in Washington?
Oh, right, it is, yeah. That's such a good call. Thanks for bringing that up. And yeah, the Commanders are out of DC. Like, this is crazy to me because when I think of like all the teams like in my area, like my region, like I think of the Patriots, I think of
Boston's,
Jets, Giants,
that's
Bills,
the Patriots,
the Bostons, yeah. And I just would never think
Eagles.
Yeah, I would never think of like DC. Like I think of all the places you could take a train to in New York. That's like an hour, 2 hours. Philly, Boston, DC. You're telling me there's and that's like so weird. DC is like not a state.
No, it's not a state. It's a metropolitan.
It is.
It's a
capital.
District of Columbia.
It's a compact city, is what Google says, on the Potomac River.
It's a district of Columbia.
Well, that's true, actually. It's also home to iconic
museums. You know what?
museums.
I know that the Washington Commanders are going to go through another name change. Have you heard about this? They're not
You're
loving.
Kidding.
I've heard that they are like feeling something different. I just want to nominate the Roz Washingtons.
Oh, I love it because they were the R-Skins, right? And then there was like a lot of pressure. So I think they just automatically were like, shit, okay, Washington Football Club.
Yeah, while we are in transition, like this will be the...
And that was just a bad name because like a football club is a soccer team. Like everybody knows that.
Right.
So now they're the Commanders, which is just like an actual like bad choice. And I think that the names really represent...
the city,
the culture of DC. So it should be like the Washington politicians. Like,
it should be like the Washington monuments.
Senators. Oh, I like that. The monuments.
Or the Washington
senators.
Georges.
Do you not like the Senators?
I actually do like the Senators.
I like it too.
I like that too. I think there's actually
a lot.
We've just laid out a lot of really good options, and you guys went with Commanders.
The presidents. No, that doesn't like roll off the tongue.
I think that's what the Commanders was meant to be, like Commander in Chief. Actually, now that I think about it.
Oh, it's bad. Literally nobody calls the president the Commander in Chief. Like that's super crazy to say. Like
they could have been the Chiefs.
It could. Oh my God! Imagine if it's the Commanders versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
It's the Commanders and Chiefs.
That would be actually a good game.
Well, now I am rooting for... Well, now I can find solace if that's the duo that makes it. I feel like all these different combinations and permutations like do leave room for excitement. Like I would, of course, be excited if the Chiefs go to Super Bowl at the Super Bowl. I would be excited if the Bills go to the Super Bowl. One, like for the Bills fans, like they really deserve that.
They deserve it.
And two, for Haley Steinfeld, like she deserves her moment. She's been like waiting in the wings. So
1,000%.
I'm happy with either. And then the Eagles... I would be happy.
I don't want to. I actually don't want to like awaken the beast that is the Eagles.
No,
fans.
I was about to say something nice.
Oh, I love the Eagles. I happen to think it's not their time.
So I would be happy if the Eagles played the Chiefs again. That would be like funny brotherly love.
Even though he doesn't play anymore, but yeah.
No, but he's so Eagles, and then Kylie could root for her team. Like it's cute, and
it would literally be like Battle of the Podcasts.
Then if the Commanders play the Chiefs, then we're Commanders and Chiefs. Like it.
Yeah.
If the Commanders play the Bills, I'll have to find an angle. Watch, that's the one that's going to be.
So this Commanders versus Eagles games, like I can't see either of these teams winning. Do you know what I mean?
I can't see the Commanders winning.
I know, but they're also just so new to me. Like I'm now, they felt so far. I literally thought they were in the other corner of the country, and they're literally right here.
They're right in your backyard. You're actually like a Commanders fan.
Commanders fan, yeah. It's also Commanders doesn't roll off the tongue. Like go Commanders,
Commander, because it's 3 syllables.
Yes, you would have to be like go Manders. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Manders. Anyway,
what was the story?
SZA is joining Kendrick Lamar for the halftime show in like a big way because it's being announced prior to.
Right.
They're also going on tour together, so this is good promotion for their tour. And I do feel like, because I was just saying, I feel like the halftime show wasn't really like for the girlies before, and now I feel like with SZA, like they're bringing us in.
Yeah,
and that feels nice.
I feel like the NFL is like always placating to like their toxic male fans. And so like with all these new girlies watching football this year because of Taylor and like the last 2 years, like this was really an opportunity for them to like give us something. And while Kendrick Lamar is a fabulous performer, he's not for the girls.
No, and no girls like Kendrick Lamar, not saying girls don't like Kendrick Lamar. Girls like boys and boys like girls. But it's not like that wasn't a choice for the girlies.
Right. And like, I think that had they given us like Carrie Underwood or something like really swirly, they would have, or God forbid, Kelly Clarkson getting the credit that she deserves, or Pink. Like if they had given us someone, the toxic fans would have been like, oh, girls ruining the football. Like, so I think that this is their way of like placating to both. SZA and Kendrick Lamar do have 2 songs together. So I'm sure that's how they'll like weave transition. So for someone like me who doesn't like to listen to Kendrick Lamar, but like I fuck with SZA, I feel like I'll know more songs now.
Yeah, me too. And I'm hoping
this is giving like J-Lo and Shakira being billed together, even though it's Kendrick's show.
From the jump, J-Lo and Shakira were built together. This is like Kendrick's show. I'm bringing out SZA, and it's going to be more than in just like a flash appearance sort of way because they're promoting it beforehand. So I think that's exciting.
And I think that Kelly should actually, with her new label, like this needs to be on her vision board.
Yeah.
Literally, like she is the queen of the network that hosts the Super Bowl. Like it's absurd.
It's absurd. She should also, I think, team up with someone who would cover the areas. No, I think a man who she likes working with, who would cover the areas that are like.
You mean demographic wise?
Blind spots for Kelly's audience, yeah.
Okay, but the thing is, like, if they actually did like a half Kelly Clarkson, half Pink one, between the two of them, so many like mainstream songs that like even like this most stubborn guy would know. And I think they actually both make up for, like, Kelly's music is very soulful. I wouldn't say it's like pussy pop, and Pink is like rock. So it's really like genre wise, I think they would cover a lot of bases too.
They're the same genre, and I think Pink
they're not. Pink
could do it on her own.
They both could.
I don't know. Nobody's a big, I just don't know if Kelly like covers enough.
No, but I think we're not, because when we think of Kelly, like we think of our faves, but like you have to think of like OG Kelly. How many songs are performed in a Super Bowl?
Maybe
15? Oh, okay.
I was going to say 10 first, but I felt
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
That's not the Super Bowl performance I want.
No, I know, but that's what it is with the Super Bowl. Like people play their worst songs. Since You've Been Gone, Behind These Hazel Eyes, Because of You,
Miss Independent,
Breakaway. She would have to do, what's her American Idol song?
Breakaway.
No. Like Lifetime. Some people wait a lifetime.
Oh, A Moment Like This.
A Moment Like This. 7. Okay, let me look. I'm sure. And then like the ones that we know, like Piece by Piece. You think she could do?
She could not sing Piece by Piece at the Super Bowl halftime show, but she could.
Broken and Beautiful is really big.
Yeah.
Heartbeat Song. You think that's big, or is it just big for us?
Do.
I dare you to love.
Oh, she would 100% do that one.
So what am I up to now?
I'm definitely like 10, 9.
Mr. Know-It-All, well, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Catch
Claudia, like seriously, this isn't fair to me.
Jackie, wait. This is how it would start. People like us.
Claudia, I was just about to start with People Like Us.
Just wait, and then it's like.
No, I don't think it would be like that.
People like us. People like us, we gotta stick together. Keep your head up, nothing lasts forever. Seriously?
That's not how I see it.
If you ever want to go for a run, but like physically feel unable, listen to that song.
It starts like this. Kelly Clarkson in front of an American flag. No music, a cappella.
Love.
Straight raw dog. People like us, we gotta stick together. Keep a message of unity. Keep your head up, nothing lasts forever. Boom. Then into something else. Maybe.
Okay. Not only was yours incredibly similar to mine, so you actually just stole it.
Turned
yours was worse.
You turned yours into a remix. I'm saying no. It's more of
It wasn't a remix. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it wasn't a remix.
You were
it
like
wasn't
doing
a remix.
the Ben Stoffer.
No. Oh my God. No. I was saying, people like us. Silence. She's teasing. We gotta stick together. You know what I mean? Like building up hype.
I understand.
I think she could do it. And of course, Pink, raise your glass. So
I can't even have this conversation because I want to try and remain positive, like for the halftime show that we are getting. Because this,
I know. Because we're going to walk into it disappointed.
Yeah. Are you ready for our next story, number 4?
No. Is it the next story that's brought to you by HGTV's fabulous new show that was actually made for Terry Lou Oshry, The Flip Off?
Yes.
Okay, so I talked about this a couple of days ago, but coming up, and I feel like it's what everybody in pop culture is talking about, HGTV like had the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever. And let me tell you, they went and did that. So they have a new show called The Flip Off, which is a competition style series where, you know, they're facing off and flipping houses, but there's so much subtext here because starring in the show are 3 people who absolutely mean the world to me and who are my personal Roman empires. Mm-hmm. It's Christina Hack, Tarek El Moussa, and Heather Ray El Moussa. So the goal of the show is like a competition style show where they're each going to flip a house and then see who can win. So it's Tarek and Heather versus Christina. Her man like is a part of it. It gets kind of complicated because there's more drama over there, but they're basically flipping houses and see who can make like the biggest return on their investment for like, you know, flipping it for the least amount of money and selling it for the most amount of money. So it's like that classic HGTV shtick where it's like we're seeing people build pretty houses and like, you know, things we would want to do to our house but never would do. But then it's also like a kind of juicy reality show because there's like so much between these 3.
It's layered.
So it's HGTV at its best with that epic competition series, stunning transformations, competitive banter. But actually the show gets really raw. I saw the first episode. It premieres next week. And let me tell you, I won't spoil it, but like it's really crazy. And I think that we talk about these 3 like in the context of pop culture so much and it seems like it's so dramatic. And then like seeing behind the curtain, like it's actually more dramatic than you would think.
Right. And also they actually are very much in each other's lives. Like they are with interfacing every single day. And it's like, what did those interactions actually look like? Well, now there's a show and we're going to find out. And the show also chronicles like Christina, who we all know is recently divorced, like the end of her marriage and like her talking to Tarek about that. Like it's actually really deep. And then the show is just like, you know, fun, swirly HGTV. They have guest judges, celebrity friends jumping in with the results. It's really fun. The drama is there. And I also love that Heather is a part of it because I think we forget, because I know her as like a reality star, but she is like she comes from a real estate background.
She comes from a real estate background. Like they kind of nailed this. And this is something I feel like we would have said on the show. Like HGTV should give these to show, and like it would have been one of our free ideas that nobody listens to, but this is such a good idea.
No, they took the initiative. They're giving us everything that they want, and they're also like bringing the 3 of them together, and it looks from the outside like it's a pargy little blended family.
Well, there's like a lot of speculation about what goes on with this crew, because on social media, like they're actually always together. So this is the first time I think viewers are going to get like a real inside look. People who are obsessed with the El Moussa clan, which obviously is myself
we
included.
Would count ourselves among them. Also, it's the blended sequel that we've been asking for.
Correct. So it's just really brilliant. It's really fun. I saw the first episode, and I won't spoil who won the flip off, but it's really fabulous. And Christina and Heather both have like really different styles for like houses too. So if you're just like into home decor, it's really fun. So the flip off premieres January 29th. And it's on Wednesdays at 8/7 Central on HGTV. You don't want to miss it. It's actually like the most toast coated show on the planet.
Seriously.
It's like, if we had a network and we always were like, what would our first show be? We would have come up with this idea after
100%. Like there couldn't be a better show for us and our interests, and there also couldn't be a better podcast for them to be advertising on.
And so no, whoever idea it was like to make the show and then promote it here, obviously listens to the show.
It has to go on the Toasty Lions list.
Yes, by the way, this goes on the Toasty Lions list. It's brilliant marketing.
Of excellence in advertising.
Mm-hmm. The flip off X the toast.
The flip off exit toast. Hold on. You know how I can search it? By Lindsay Hubbard. Toasty Can Lion Awards for Brand Partnerships.
Yeah, I remember the list. It's Lindsay Hubbard and the dress company, right? For her wedding dress.
Kleinfeld's again.
And then it's the guy from Smart House partnering up with like a Ring doorbell type of company.
Smart House.
They have like house wares that like make your house smart.
Yeah.
Genius.
Okay, well, our next story, some other big collaboration news. Sutton Foster, Ben Platt, Rachel Zegler, and more are joining Trisha Paytas' Broadway show. Yes, that is a real headline. Trisha Paytas is taking the stage on February 3rd for Trisha Paytas' Big Broadway Dream, a one-night-only musical theater extravaganza. She'll be joined by several high-profile special guests from the Broadway world, including Sutton Foster, TBD on Hugh Jackman, but he'll probably be in the audience supporting his gal, Ben 100%. Platt, Rachel Zegler, and Joy Woods. It's called Trisha Paytas' Big Broadway Dream. Let's make a meme come true.
No, this is so funny in so many ways, but and not, while it's like impressive, the only real shocking part of this is Sutton Foster, because like Ben Platt, Rachel Zegler, these are like chronically online people who probably like know Trisha Paytas. To see the evolution of Trisha Paytas, like as somebody who was so thoroughly canceled, not only to rise up from the ashes, but like the levels that she's reached in the last month on SNL, Broadway, Sutton Foster, like you absolutely love to see it for a creator, for a woman in the canceled sphere. Like it's beautiful. I don't understand Sutton Foster being here. And while I love it because she is currently like, she is the
darling of Broadway.
It's great for Trisha. It's great for Sutton. I think Sutton probably lacks like that sort of internet
virality.
Audience. Yeah. So like I get it, but I could see like Trisha Paytas like having these other people's phone numbers and being like, hey, will you come to the show? I don't know how she got connected to Sutton Foster.
Right. I do wonder like what the content of the show is going to be. It's like one night only. So what would you do for like just one night? And I also wonder if this makes her Tony eligible. Give Trisha Paytas the Tony.
I agree.
What if Trisha Paytas is the next EGOT? I could see it.
I just want to say, I could see it.
Like that's not the craziest thing I've ever heard.
She just went on tour, so a little tour. So I have to imagine that this show is like her New York stop.
You think? No, I think I mean, maybe you're right, but just the vibe I got is that it's like her dream to be on Broadway, and this will be like a special Broadway show.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be special, but I think the core of the show, which it was a rehearsed choreograph. She had dancers and outfits. It's like it's a musical about her journey on the internet. It was very funny. I think that it's going to be that.
Oh yeah, that makes complete sense. I didn't realize that's what she was doing on tour. So now she'll do it on Broadway. But it's just like if we did a Gizno like on Broadway, then we're on Broadway.
Of course, no. And when you like book a theater in New York, if you're like a performer who does live podcasting or stand up, like one of the theaters that is an option for you to perform at is like a Broadway theater. And then you make it like a whole thing. Like, yeah, we're on Broadway.
Yeah. Okay.
I also, I actually, now that I think about it, I do kind of understand Sutton Foster being here. Sutton Foster's having like a little bit of a moment because Younger was just added to Netflix. And I think that while that show obviously meant a lot to us, at the time it was on Lifetime Network. It was like this attempt by Lifetime to like renew. And while the show was successful, I don't think this like big Lifetime campaign was. So people don't actually really know it. And I think that it being on Netflix, and it's in the top, I see it now when I'm scrolling, I think she's being introduced to a whole new audience of people, probably who overlap with Trisha Paytas' fans. So I actually think this might be like having related to that.
Interesting. Well, I'm happy for everyone to be watching Younger. I'll be so curious like what the youngsters think of Charles and Josh and which team they're on.
Well, even like the Toasters who like, I would assume if you listen to the Toast, you know Younger. I saw people posting in the Facebook group being like, oh my God, Jackie and Claudia keep talking about Sutton Foster. I have no idea who that is, but I just started watching Younger and like, that's who's dating Hugh Jackman.
That's who's dating Hugh Jackman.
And by the way, Hugh Jackman is Charles.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman is Charles.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to what like the younger audience thinks of, because Younger and Charles and Josh is like the younger version of Big and Aiden from Sex and the City.
Yes.
It is. Oh, it 100% is.
But I think Big and Aiden are more similar than Charles and Josh. Like I think,
yeah.
I think like really there are two types of like Team Josh people and Team Charles people. Like you are so different. But the case could be made because I'm like, I guess I'm Team Big, but like Big didn't like her. So like,
by the way, I'm Team neither. Like seriously, no, actually, I don't think either of them were. I don't think Carrie was good enough for either of them.
Like I don't think Carrie was good enough for Aiden, but like,
no, she definitely wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think they would have made each other happy. And also, this is not about watch what happens next in 5 years.
In 5 years, and just like that.
I like watch what happens next.
Me too.
I knew what you were talking about. Like Carrie and Aiden out together, but the show that we watched, Sex and the City, like she could not have given Aiden like the life that he wanted.
No, if she had like truly kept him, and she could have, she would have ruined his life.
Yeah.
The best thing Carrie ever did for Aiden was cheat on him because it gave him really no choice.
Yeah.
Even when they got back together afterwards, like he never got over it. So it was the best thing because he was forced to move on and he went on and had 3 beautiful children with that lady named Kathy. Like it was good.
Yeah.
And Big, like, yeah, he didn't like her and he was like this miserable wench, but like so was she.
That's
like,
what she wanted.
Yeah, it's so true. It's like you want it so bad, good. You got
That's
it.
what you got.
With Charles and Josh, like they were so different. It's true. Because like,
and
at the end of the day, like Big and Aiden.
Liza. They both love Liza. So she's not like choosing a guy who's bad for her. They're both good for her and they both love her. But it's just like, what does your dream life look like?
And I think that it really just speaks to the type of person you are. If you like, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen the show, so I won't. But like I'm a Charles girl. And that's because I'm in love with Peter Herman, who plays Charles, because he's married to like the Queen of America, Mariska Hargitay. Mm-hmm. But listen, different strokes. Like seriously, if Josh like ever came up to me in a bar, I'd be like, get the fuck away from me. Do you know what I mean?
No, but for so many people, like Josh is his dream man.
Yeah, I know, and I feel like
and they're not.
I think
it
marks a cultural. No, I think it marks a cultural and a real generational difference because, like, the men
within our own generation, there is divide.
But also, like the heartthrob of Sex and the City, like, was big because, like, at the time, that's what an attractive man looked like. That's what a bachelor.
But same for Aiden. Like he's a very nice, so that's why it's just not totally comparable.
But he was just like a little bit more rugged, you know?
Watch the show, drop a comment. Team Charles or Team Josh, we'll judge accordingly.
Yeah. And by the way, I judge. Like when I was in high school.
One of my best friends is Team Josh, and now I understand her like more as a person. Who? Rebecca is Team Josh.
I can see it,
right?
Yeah.
Because also like we were talking about him like he's like a cretin. He's so handsome.
But
so
just
handsome. Like he's younger than like
he's just so Charles. He's so Charles. No, the thing is like when I was in high school, I was watching The Real Housewives of New York, and when Bethany and Jill broke up, like that was one of the biggest things that ever happened to me, and I took it so personal. I'll never forget. One of my friends was Team Bethany, and like I was so staunchly Team Jill. I actually started to look at her differently. Like I couldn't conceive how she disagreed with me, and that's really how I feel about Charles versus Josh. Like it's so obvious to me like that Charles is the one, but people like really die for Josh. Like more so, I think like there were some people who were like Team Aiden, but like everybody was Team Big. I think with Josh it's like actually 50-50.
Yeah, Aiden was really
same with Edward and Jacob.
Yeah, he's just an interloper in like an already written love story. Like this is just like
get out of here, scram.
Totally different. But with Bethany and Jill, I know I've gone back and forth on it so many times over the years, and you like rewatch stuff and you see it differently. So I actually don't remember whose side I was on at the time. I feel like I was on Bethany's side because I remember watching the scene of like Jill in Luann's apartment, and like Luann is like shielding Jill from like scary
Ramona. It was Ramona's apartment, yes.
Scary big Bethany.
Yep.
And I'm and I just remember feeling like they're being wrong.
So when I was in high school, I was Team Jill. Like seriously, you could not pry Jill from my cold dead hands. During COVID, I rewatched Real Housewives of New York, and while I left with a renewed appreciation for Jill Zarin, probably one of the best housewives to ever do it, rewatching that argument, she was wrong. She had a little bit of a leg to stand on, and she took it so far that she ended up being wrong.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like she was the wronged party for like a second, and she like loved being the victim. So she destroyed Bethany because of it, and she took it way too far.
Yeah, agreed. Our fifth and final story that will lead into our TV recap. Southern Charm was on last night, and Craig Conover says that he would have proposed to Paige prior to the breakup. He said, if it was up to me, like I would propose to her, but that she changed her mind a lot. So in a conversation with Craig last night, we're getting like, with Craig and Shep, we're getting more insight into Paige and Craig's relationship. And he was sharing how like if it was up to him, he would propose to her right now. He's ready to have kids. But he was like, in the grand scheme of things, if I need to wait a few years to have kids with her, like that's fine. But then he's like, but what if it winds up being 10 years? Like right now, he's like, I would be okay with 3 or 4 years for like the dream woman. Yeah. But then it's like, but what if she changes her mind? Like, what if it's 10 years? Because he was saying like, you know, sometimes she's like, let's get married and move to a farm. And then the next day she's like, oh, I had a great day in New York. Like, I love it here. I'm not. And then the next day.
That's so real.
And then the next day she's like, I'm moving to Charleston. And
no, something about New York, like one day you're ready to give it all up. Like you are just going too far. And the next day you kind of have like an amazing day. You're like, greatest
I
city
can never leave. Yeah. Yeah. So he is sharing that she like changed her mind a lot. And I think like what their future looked like was never like set in stone. And it's like, I feel like this whole time we've been like waiting for them to like get to what the future looks like, which we all sort of like knew what that would be like for them. But the fact that they couldn't align on it is really what ended things for them. But then also like that she ultimately ended it. Because when you hear this, it's like, okay, well then Craig got tired of waiting, right? That's what you think. But knowing that she ended it,
no, I think
he would have kept waiting.
I think that she finally figured out what her future looks like, and it didn't involve him.
I agree. Sad.
Which is so sad, and that's what we were saying. Like, if that's the case, that's the saddest way that this could have ended. Like, the fact that it wasn't about, you know, timing. It was just about the fact that actually this is not
the life I want and not with the person I want, no matter like how much I do like you.
And that's really devastating as a stan of these two. Like that based on just what I'm seeing on social media and in the show, like that, I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I think so too. But anyways, the episode last night was really good. JT is just seriously being a crazy person. So Taylor has a new boyfriend, and Taylor's really, and I have a hard time getting a read of a lot of people on the show because they're always cycling them in and out. Yeah. And like I don't have time to get to know them. And Taylor, I really can't get a read on because like she seems like so nice and genuine, but then like she was kissing Austin, lying to her best friend to her face like over and over again. And I'm like, what kind of like,
but nice like in a genuine type of way?
No, in such a genuine way. Like I seriously feel so bad for her. And I think she's just like having a hard time on the show. So she has this new boyfriend, Gaston. And yes, his name is Gaston.
Gaston.
And so we just have to like talk about Gaston in earnest. Like that's
hard.
And Gaston has like a history with a girl who just came on the show, Sally, who I was having a hard time getting a read on Sally. And then I saw that she was on The Bachelor. And I saw her clip on The Bachelor. And I had to watch it because I've been having a hard time.
Whose season?
She was on Clayton's season. She comes on the show before even the first night of limos or anything. She is having a hard time because this was the day she was supposed to get married. She was engaged in her hometown, and I think her fiance like cheated on her or something, so called off the wedding and went on The Bachelor. And the day of the first ceremony is the day she was supposed to get married. So she goes to Clayton's room before limos or anything and is like, I'm having a hard time and I wanted to meet you to see like if I should be here because I'm having a hard time. And
did she leave?
Wait, so they're talking and she's a very beautiful girl. And so like, of course, he's like, no, stay. I like you. And he's like, so much so, I want to give you the first rose. Like, please, wow. I want you here. Like, please
nothing
be
like
here.
A participation award. Like,
please. No, not even that. Like, that's a big gesture. As opposed to just being like, be here, stay. It'll be good. Like, here's a rose. You're going into next week. Like, I like you in this 5 minutes that you've been complaining to me. Like, I do really like you. And she has to leave the room and think about it. And she declines the rose and she leaves.
Honestly, I love that.
No, but like, what were you hoping for? And she said, like, I feel this between you and I, but like, I just can't be here. So like, what was your express purpose when you went to meet Clayton? To see if like you would like him? You just said that you would like him. So
maybe she didn't like him. Maybe she didn't like him and she didn't know what I mean. Like
maybe, but it just like made me feel like what's this person's like desire? Endgame. Yeah. And now she's on Southern Charm. And even in the few conversations that she had, like she was spilling all this tea to Madison and Paige a few weeks ago. And in every way, like she was just saying, Gaston called me. And they're like, oh, because she has history with Gaston. And they're like, well, what did he say? And she's like, he said to keep my name out of his mouth. And they're like, what do you mean? Like they're pulling everything out of her, and I really just feel like she's trying to like make so many moments. She keeps saying, she keeps saying, I have Gaston's name in my mouth. I have Gaston's name in my mouth. Like there's other ways to say that. Like it's just like stop talking about
sexual. Yeah,
stop talking about Gaston. So I'm just like trying to like suss out. I feel like she also just is like very much doing the show thing, and that kind of like is irksome to me.
Well, so you saying that she was on The Bachelor gives me like a little bit of like red flag, thirsty reality star, but then her leaving like kind of negates that.
No, I know. And if I think someone who's been on The Bachelor who then lives in Charleston is like a girly about town and is like in the
ripe
mix,
for the picking.
Like perfect to be on this show. Yeah. Like they're ready for reality TV. So I'm not gonna like hold that against her. It's just like something that I've got to keep in mind. And then our other new girl, Molly, who was just such a darling. And
I remember her. And I saw that clip of Whitney telling her to stop eating the cupcake.
Right. And I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but like she's in her confessional has been saying really sweet things about Shep, like how Shep would be a dream man. Like he's very educated and he's very sweet, and like she would love to end up with a guy like Shep. And right now Shep is dating a girl in the Bahamas who I think this season and all season he's talking about how he's fallen so fast for her. He could see himself living in the Bahamas, just giving it all up, like Jimmy Buffett on the beach. Like he's obsessed with this girl. And I think in the second half of the season, like things turn really south. I think she's like been using him to get on the show. Like I think it gets like, I think they take a group trip to the Bahamas to see her. And I think it all goes south. So like I know heartbreak is waiting for Shep. And then in his confessionals, like he's saying really sweet stuff about Molly because she's a trained tuba player. She plays in the Charleston concert band. They all went to her concert on last night's and she's a former model. She was on America's Next Top Model, which is so crazy. And she was doing her tuba concert. They all came out to support. It was so sweet. And like, nobody does wholesome hobbies like that anymore. And
no,
I'm like,
that's really sweet.
This storyline of Molly and her tuba and how she fell back into tuba, like after modeling didn't work out because she has the thyroid issue. So she's gained weight and she's like also feeling self-conscious, but she's also so confident and she's got her tuba and like Shep loves a tuba. And Shep really is someone who would like appreciate a woman who's like
he's like a well-educated.
So these two, I'm telling you, this is how the story ends. Shep and Molly, like I ship so hard. I think they'll also see what each other is saying about them on the show because like it's really starting in an earnest way, and I think that she would actually be a really great girl for him, especially now that he was like ready to settle down with Sierra, so he might be like looking for that again because I feel like with Taylor he just never wanted to settle down, even though Taylor was like a totally lovely girlfriend to him. So it's all sort of a mess, and I just feel like Taylor, so anyways, Gaston, like, doesn't come on the show. She doesn't want to hear anything like Gaston did in his past, like how Sally had an affair with him, and that's how their relationship started, whatever. And, like, I'm with Taylor. I think she should leave the show. I just think the show is bad for her. When she came on the show, like, she had a serious job, and
she was like a +1, so it wasn't really about her. It was like she was Shep's girlfriend.
And like she's just going through it, and the show is not good for her. And now everyone has decided like we're gonna go out in on Taylor's relationship, and it's the one thing in her life making her happy. Her brother passed away a year ago. Just like go be with your boyfriend, whether it works out or not. Like he makes you happy at the moment. Like please go, and then they can turn on each other.
Yeah.
Now they just all talk about Taylor when she's not there.
Yeah, that's
So.
You make it sound good.
It stays being the greatest show on earth.
The greatest show on earth is actually The Toast, and something amazing that we do here every Friday is Queenie and Weenie of the Week, where Jackie and I give out 2 awards, Queenie of the Week and Weenie of the Week, to 2 different people, institutions, people, places, things, that acted like a Weenie this week or a Queenie this week. Now, it's not that serious. It is a 7-day title, although my Weenie this week is actually like bordering on like, honestly, the title of Weenie of the Week might be like too generous.
Too generous. I understand.
Queenie first?
Of course, we always start with the good news.
My Queenie of the Week is Sex Change Operation. Like, the way that song has actually brought me so much joy, and like all the clips, like the amount of content I've consumed, like engaging with it. I kind of like the song, and I understand why it's nominated for an Oscar. And I really like it. Like, I just was watching this hilarious video of Katya and Trixie, like, listening to it for the first time, like seeing people have that experience, like Sex Change Operation. And I love that they've now been nominated for so many Oscars because like it's going to continue to be a part of the conversation.
Is that specific song nominated for an Oscar?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure, but the film is. And to me, the film is that one scene.
No, but it's like, would they be playing that? Maybe that's why they cancel performances, because like the world couldn't
because they would have to right, because it would be like so glaringly obvious.
Maybe that's why because they have 2 songs from Amelia Perez nominated. And I just want to say, Amelia Perez was 1 nomination away from tying with the most nominated Oscar movie of all time.
Which is what?
I don't know.
The Wizard of Oz?
Probably like,
Gone with the Wind.
14 Oscars, though, is the most. And it goes
And they have 13.
13 nods for Amelia Perez. The previous record holders were Roma and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon with 10 each. Wait, who has 14 Oscar? Oh, no. All About Eve, Titanic, and La La Land.
Titanic. Are you kidding me?
Titanic and Amelia Perez.
And right. Those people died for what? To be compared to Amelia Perez?
Spot the difference. I can't.
Who's your Queenie?
My Queenie was Carrie Underwood for her rendition of America the Beautiful, going at a cappella. Queenie behavior.
That actually was Queenie behavior.
That was like very much Queenie behavior.
Honestly, honorable mention to Camila Cabello.
Oh, I agree. Coming in under the wire.
Yeah.
Wait, so I write down our Queenies and Weenies now, and I just am going to need you to properly title your Queenie. Sex Change Operation song?
No, you have to say it like this. Sex Change Operation.
And you see at the end of the clip when he's like saying...
Rhinoplasty, like, yes.
Vaginoplasty, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And then there was one...
Adam's apple reduction, yes.
Yes.
I'm telling you guys, it is seriously the funniest thing that's ever happened to me. You know?
I know, but it's really like, it's so crazy.
It's so crazy.
They're 1 Oscar nom shy of Titanic.
Yeah.
Who is your Weenie?
So it's like Weenie doesn't even begin to cover it. But like this week, I've been consumed with thoughts of that husband who's sending pictures of his wife naked to his friends. Like now, so if it turns out that he's like an actual predator, that's obviously like bigger than Weenie.
Yeah.
But it just, I couldn't let the week go by without like acknowledging this person in an official capacity.
No, I totally agree.
From Dear Toasters, if you haven't tuned into Wednesday's episode, Tuesday's episode, Dear Toasters was like seriously one of the craziest it's ever been. And I've been thinking so much about her.
Okay, I'm jotting it down, even though like my Weenie now would just like pale in comparison to that.
I know, that's what I mean. Like I'm overusing the Weenie. Like it's too big.
I know, but I understand.
What about you?
Well, I was gonna do like a Kyle Richards storm out, but like not after what you
honestly
just said. That was like classic Weenie. That was just like Weenie.
But if you look up Weenie in the dictionary, it's Kyle Richards at the spa day. I think you have to do it. That's a great one. I almost made Garcelle my Queenie because I had made her my Weenie and I wanted to. She undid a little bit of the Weeniness that she exerted a couple of weeks ago at that dinner when she was like inserting herself in something that really had nothing to do with her. But sex change operation took the cake.
I agree. I think I need to see more Queenie behavior from Garcelle.
Yeah,
for her to be the Queenie. Just because there's been a lot of
co-sign Kyle as your Weenie, like 100%.
Okay, I should have gone first though.
Yeah, 1,000%. But we actually don't tell each other our Weenies and Queenies before the show. We like to be surprised. So there's no way to properly and like appropriately plan who goes first.
And I'm jotting down the history of Weenies for 2025.
Jackie, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's our show. The next time you guys see me,
I've been taking the minutes.
I'll be out of here. Like, let's just have one moment of silence for this place, okay?
Should I sing us a song?
You?
Okay, you could sing, but I get to choose a song.
Okay.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Bigger than the whole sky.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. You were bigger than the whole sky. You were more than just a short life. I've got a lot to pine about. I've got a lot to dream about. I'm never gonna meet what could have been, would have been. What should have been you.
These four walls. What should have been these four walls.
Okay, DJ
Earworm.
Earworm.
Around us. What'd you call me, JJ Abram?
I said DJ Earworm. I said DJ Earworm.
There's literally no higher compliment in the world than calling me DJ Earworm.
So true. Like, oh, okay, I have a knack for music.
I've got a knack.
Thank you so much for listening to the Toast and Landon Morning Show, where we tell the fast 5 stories you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. We're also available as a podcast anywhere podcasts can be found. So it's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iHeartRadio, CastBox, all the places where visit the podcast. My notes are totally a 5-star review about a beautiful, about a stunning, about how wickedly talented we are.
Love you. Bye. Let's do the heart. Come on. Try something new. Fuck it up.
Okay, try something new.
Actually, it's better if only one variable changes, but it's fine. Love you. Bye.